I'd like to invite on stage Deputy Head of Capital Markets Funding at CA-CIB, Ali El-Hamidi, one of Pasqal's customers. Ali, I know you'll be revealing the audience how banking and quantum computing intersect, and an exciting use case where at CA-CIB you saw quantum computing being put to good use. So the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
I'm going to explain how Crédit Agricole CIB has been introduced to quantum computing and what we have already achieved and what we aim to achieve in the next month, especially with Pasqal. So, finance is full of quantitative analysis, full of equations. We have a lot of problems doing numerical calculations, whether to estimate the risk of a portfolio of assets. As you may know, we are a highly regulated industry, and we need to calculate very difficult risk metrics every day in order to satisfy the regulatory conditions, in order to ensure that the bank has the right financial means, capital liquidity, to do the business it is doing. We also have many types of different calculations in order to price our products, specifically in capital markets. We extend derivative products to our clients, and those derivatives depend on the behavior of risk factors. A lot of risk factors, behaviors that could be very long-term, with a long-term perspective. So we need to do a lot of Monte Carlo simulations in order to solve some differential equations that we can solve manually or with the analytical methods. So here on the screen, you can see a constellation of methods that require a deep calculation capacity, and we have been going through the different types of technology that you all know, from clusters of CPUs, GPUs, and now also tensor processor units. And it was very natural that Crédit Agricole CIB, as any big bank facing those challenges, to look at the quantum computing as well. When you start hearing in the press, in the media, about the promises of quantum computing for parallel computing, for finance in particular, you automatically think about the disruption and the risk of disruption you would face if you are not familiar with what could this technology bring to your domain. So the question of Crédit Agricole initially wasn't about the probability of the disruption, even though we can think that the probability could be very low, but the severity, in case of the disruption happening, this severity could be massive and massively impacting our situation in the market. I can quote one example. When we have clients over the phone and we are asked to provide prices for derivative products, we need to price or to provide the prices very quickly, the time of the communication. If you are not able to provide this price during the communication, someone else will do it, and you lose the deal. So how we do that? We do that with a combination of big calculation infrastructure, very sophisticated algorithms, and also a lot of approximations. Now, those approximations, of course, introduce some risk in the prices. These risks require capital for the bank in order to hedge itself for the risk, and this is a loss of opportunity that weighs on the bank, statements, financial statements, bank balance sheet, etc. So if someone in the market can use quantum computing to provide prices quicker than you do and with a bit better accuracy, you are automatically off the market. You lose your place, you lose your market share overnight, and you are disrupted. So this is, the reasoning, the rationale behind the interest of Crédit Agricole CIB toward quantum computing. Well, so starting from that, we decided to not only look at the quantum computing as a way to provide a calculation, but integrate this new paradigm in a roadmap, in a long-term roadmap, knowing, of course, that this is not going to happen overnight. And given our culture, pragmatic culture of research and development, we wanted to draw in this roadmap many steps, many pragmatic steps, in order to show value for our management and for our shareholders in order to sustain the investment in this journey. We decided to have 3 clear objectives. Of course, exploring the technology to extract value from it for our problems, and I will dig into that in a couple of minutes. Doing that with our proper resources, human resources, in order to prepare CA-CIB staff to be able to handle this technology as quick as possible, and build a relationship with the ecosystem so that to facilitate for Crédit Agricole CIB the watch with the technology which is very far from our core métier or core business. So, of course, there is something I didn't mention, which was very key for Crédit Agricole to start this journey, is also the agreement of the senior management on this strategy. The senior management, and by senior management, I am referring to the executive committee of Crédit Agricole CIB, but also of CASA, Mr. Philippe Brassac, our CEO, is also himself deeply, convinced by the value of quantum computing, and he was key in launching this journey. In fact, in 2019, the end of 2019, he invited Quantum Nation to his executive committee for a presentation of some actors of the ecosystem, among which Pasqal. And this was the trigger of the journey we have launched with Pasqal and a couple of other providers in the ecosystem. So we started in 2020-2021 with talking with Pasqal in order to figure out the right use case, which would, as I said, bring a real value immediately, which was the challenge. The challenge for us was to find a suitable use case to bring value so that myself and my team can demonstrate to our senior management that we are progressing in this roadmap from the beginning. The key point here in choosing the right use case was to lower the risk at the minimum. We knew that we were going to handle a new technology with a high risk, execution risk, and we wanted to lower the risk on the use case, the business line, the business risk. So we chosen a use case that we mastered, on which we spent many years of development, a use case which was already in production, so that we can focus on implementing the same use case that we master into the Pasqal quantum computer. And with doing so, our hope was to first demonstrate that quantum computer or Pasqal quantum computer, as a representative of quantum computing in general, is a reality now. It can be used on a real use case, and it can, it can deliver results. This was really the objective. We were not targeting any quantum advantage. We wanted to ensure that the promise that we have heard about, that we have read in the press, in the media, from the ecosystem was real for our business. So the use case is a very important one within our daily job. It's about predicting the downgrade of the rating of our clients. So the degradation of the creditworthiness of our clients. This is something that could cost the bank a lot in terms of provisions, in terms of capital, that we have to set aside in order to hedge this risk. Assume that you have extended a loan to a company which is rated AA, for example, as per any external rating, credit rating agency, Standard & Poor's, Moody's, etc. And overnight, suddenly, this counterparty has been downgraded to a sub-investment grade, like BBB or BB rating. This, given the amount of the loans that a bank such as Crédit Agricole CIB extend to such counterparties, let's say, Thales, EADS, Airbus, etc., it can cost several hundred of millions for the bank if we combine both provisions and the loss of opportunity, given that we allocate a higher capital for the same loan. So we have developed a model that helps the credit analyst focus on the right counterparties in the portfolio so that they can do a further credit analysis job and focus their time, their work, so that we can hedge the credit risk if the credit analysts confirm that those cases are very relevant. So to hedge this credit risk before it materializes, so with the lower cost than when it materializes in the market. And by doing so, we can, save the bank, a decent amount of money and decent amount of opportunity costs. So we have developed a model, machine learning model, statistical model, which predict those cases. And we asked Pasqal to help us translate this model or the principle of this model into a quantum computer, Pasqal quantum computer. So now that you are familiar with the equations, because I saw that Murad introduced you with the Hamiltonian and the equations, the machine learning model at some point, or any machine learning model, when you try to calibrate it, it turns out to be, at some point, an optimization problem. So you need to solve something in order to optimize your parameters. And this is exactly what we decided to do with Pasqal. Why? Because in production, given the capacity, the limited capacity of calculation we have, we cannot be sure that the optimization is perfect. So we have heuristics. Those heuristics deliver results that are deemed very interesting, very usable, and we, in fact, use those results in production. But we wanted to try, with Pasqal quantum computer, whether we can achieve, first, implement the problem, which wasn't done before, and then look at the result that Pasqal provides for the same problem and compare it with what we obtain with classical computing. Pasqal quantum computer, in its analogical version, is an optimizer, is a quantum optimizer with an energy function that is parameterizable. The energy function, as you can see here, is composed of two parts, unitary and quadratic parts. And it turns out that our problem, our optimization problem, can be written exactly as the composition of the Hamiltonian that Pasqal is using. So we have also one unitary part and one quadratic part. So all the work, and I'm simplifying a bit the problem, but we've spent like 9 months in calibrating this analogy, but we have achieved the fact that we implemented within Pascal a quantum system whose Hamiltonian writes exactly the same as the cost function that we wanted to optimize. And when you do this, when you do so, the nature does the rest. So what the nature produces is something very interesting. Actually, we have two parameters to assess the results or the performance of our work: precision, and there is a typo here, it's 28 rather than 24%, and the recall. And to put it simply, what those performances indicators say is that if we have, for example, 10,000 of clients, which is roughly what Crédit Agricole CIB has in terms of number of big clients, either corporate or financial institutions, 10,000 clients, the number of the downgrades of the cases that are relevant for us is about 100. So if we are expecting 100 clients to deteriorate massively, the problem or the algorithm in production will forecast 83% of those. So 83 clients. But to identify the 83 clients, of course, the algorithm and the program is not perfect. There are false positives. The program will provide roughly 300 clients. So a set of 300 clients within which we have 83 real cases of clients that we have to look at. And this is a very important result for our analysts. So instead of looking to 10,000 clients, they look at 300, and they are statistically sure that between the 300, there are 83% of the right cases, the relevant cases detected within this subset. And what you look at the French flag, actually, the histogram, is that with the QPU, Pascal QPU, we have roughly obtained the same accuracy. So one constraint was to have the 83% of clients detected with the model calibrated with Pascal, and to look at the precision. And the precision, in fact, provided by Pascal quantum computer was really excellent, roughly the one we have today in production. And even better because the runtime of a Pascal quantum computer was 3 times lower than the calibration time in production. So those are very encouraging results. We have also tested the scalability. So knowing that at the time we did this work with Pascal, the QPU was only composed of 50 qubits. So we tested the same problem with different number of qubits from 10 to 50 in order to look at the behavior of the performance of the time to solution that you have here, with an interpolation with the red straight line. And we will try in the future to validate this curve with the new generations of Pascal QPU in order to look to see whether this the time to solution scales linearly or logarithmically with the number of qubits. The paper we've written with Pascal has been accepted by the Physics Review Research of the American Physical Society end of last year. And as a next step, we are preparing a new exciting project with Pascal where we will target this time, a return on investment on a use case that we have carefully recently selected, and we think that with the same technology, we hope to achieve, financial result and financial advantage this time. Thank you very much for listening.